Hello dear students. So here I am back with another presentation for you. We have already done a few literary terms like plot, characterization, dialogue, monologue, etc. Today we are going to take up two more literary terms, namely narrator and second one is persona. Narrator, as you all know, is the one who tells the story. Narrator is closely associated with narration and narrative. Narrative is a piece of writing either in verse or in prose. Narrative is a piece of writing either in verse or in prose. Usually it is associated with a work of fiction, just as a novel or a story, because a novel or a story is to be told from some point of view or through some narrator. Narrator can be a participant in the story, or he may be simply a detached observer or someone outside the story. In other words, he may be either inside the story participating as a character, or he may be someone totally outside the story, just as there is the author adopting the role of an omniscient narrator. Narrator thus is the one who tells the story. So this may be the definition of a narrator. Narrator is the person telling the story to the readers or to the audience. So hereafter, narrator can either be a participant in the story, he may be one of the characters, or a narrator can be more than one character. There can be more than one narrators. We have a number of examples where we see more than one narrators. One of such examples that come to my mind is Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, in which we have two narrators. And apart from Wuthering Heights, yes, during the 18th century, epistolary novels were written in the form of exchange of letters. So there we see a number of narrators writing those letters. So narrator has a very important role to fulfill when it comes to narrating the story or telling the story to us, because it is his knowledge or it is his point of view that matters the most. So the first type of the narrator is a first person narrator. A first person narrator is usually a character or a participant in the action of the story. Yes, this is what you must keep in mind, that a first person narrator is the one who actively participates in the story. It is his interaction with other characters that matters, because he is the one who is actively involved in the story. A first person narrator, it is his point of view that matters, because whatever he says, whatever he does, enlightens us about the plot of that work. So that is a first person narrator. In other words, if you see the use of first person pronoun I, me, myself, mine to be used by the narrator, it means a first person narrator technique has been adopted by the writer. The writer himself always remains to the background. He uses a first person narrator as a means or as a way to tell the story. And it is a first person narrator is also important because it is his knowledge of the events that matter the most, because it is through his eyes that we see the world of the story. So that is what you must keep in mind. The second type of narrator is a second person narrator. Second person narrator means the use of you, yourself, yours, etc. The narrator here uses you, yours, etc. to describe the main character. The main character is seen through the eyes of someone who is totally in the background and who is in interaction or communication with the main character. But this type of technique is rarely used in literature. So it is not so important, but you should know that a second person narrator is also used in some piece of writings. So let us come to the more important type of narrator, that is a third person narrator, which is most widely used in literature, and it is one of the most famous literary techniques used by the author when it comes to narration or narrating something. Third person narrator means the use of a narrator who is outside the story. He is not at all a participant in the story. He remains outside the story, but he is fully aware of what is happening with the characters, or what is happening around the characters when it comes to the narration. So that is what you must keep in mind. A third person narrator may be a detached observer. A detached observer means he knows everything, but he may not pass comments on the action of the story, or on the behavior of the characters, or on the situations taking place in the action. He may be completely detached. So that is one role adopted by a third person narrator, that he may be totally detached. His approach is totally objective. Objective means he simply tells what the characters are doing, rather than showing us or giving us insights into the mind or heart of the characters, rather than giving us insight into the thoughts, feelings and emotions of the characters. His approach is totally objective. He lets the characters do and behave just as they are acting in the story, and that is what makes this type of narrator's approach totally objective. The second type of third person narrator, a third person narrator is also of three types. The first type I have already told you, that is the objective approach of the third person narrator, where he is totally detached. He does not pass comments upon the behavior of the character, or he does not tells us about what is happening in the mind of the character, how a particular character sees the world. So that is the first type of a third person narrator. Then comes the second type of a third person narrator, where the narrator is totally subjective. His approach is totally subjective. He is aware of the working of the mind of a character or characters, because he has access to the thoughts, feelings and emotions of his protagonist or other minor or major characters. So that approach is subjective. And here the narrator is outside the story. That is what makes it a third person narrative, or that is what makes him a third person narrator, because he remains outside the story. He does not participate in the story, or he is not a character of the story. If he is a character of the story, then he becomes a first person narrator. So a third person narrator, as I told you, is not does not participate in the story. He is outside the story, but his approach may be objective or subjective. If his approach is objective, it means he does not know anything about what is going on in the mind of the character or characters, or what is going to happen with the characters in future. He understands the story as the characters move on, whereas whereas a narrator whose approach is subjective has access to the thoughts, emotions, and feelings of either the protagonist or other major characters, and he is fully aware of the behavior or other issues related to these characters. So, here it is also to be understood that a third person narrator can be intrusive. Intrusive means he keeps passing on comments either on a character's behavior or on a situation which takes place in the story. If this happens, if a narrator keeps passing comments on the action or on the character or on a number of characters, then he is an intrusive narrator. Whereas a detached narrator is the one who avoids passing such comments, who is totally outside the story, who remains totally detached, who is totally disinterested when it comes to passing comments, when it comes to passing judgments on the action or on the situations or on the different characters of a story. Whereas there may be an omniscient narrator. It is also a type of a third person narrator, an omniscient narrator. An omniscient narrator means one who's all knowing, because he is fully aware of what is going on in the mind of the characters and how the story will progress and what is happening with the characters around the main character. So an omniscient author means that the author has more flexibility when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to the art of narrating a story. So this is how the art of narration goes on when it comes to telling a story, when it comes to telling a work of fiction. And a story is told through the device of narrator. Narrator has a very important role in storytelling, because it is through narrator that we come to understand a story, that a story gets told. So that is what you must keep in mind when it comes to the role of a narrator in the work of fiction. Apart from it, the second literary term that we are going to discuss is persona. Persona is also closely associated with narrator. Persona is derived from the Latin term persona, persona. Persona is a Latin term which means an actor's mask. An actor's mask, because in ancient times or in Greek literature, in Greek dramas, there was a practice that actors used to come onto the stage wearing masks representing some particular character. So, persona in a way is a theatrical mask adopted to present some character. And when it comes to a story or a fiction or a novel, then persona has a very, very important literary device. In order to understand persona in a better way, let us take the example of our own lives. We have a different persona in society, and when it comes to our real life, when it comes to what we are in reality, we are totally different from how we act and behave in society. When we move out of the house, or when we go to the office or workplace, or when we are with the people outside in the market, then we are totally different. There we behave in a very sophisticated way. We pretend to be very gentle because we do not want to leave a poor impression about ourselves on the mind of people. Just as there is a politician who may be a totally different person in his real life, he poses to be a gentle and well behaved person in society because he does not want to disappoint his voters when it comes to his impression, when it comes to pretending to be a good man. He wants to be known as a good person. He wants to be known as a friendly guy who can be approached by anyone. That is why he poses to be a very well behaved person. A politician in society is totally different from what he is in his real life. So a politician has a different persona in society. His That is his social persona. That is what he adopts in order to pose as a good person. A persona is like a mask. That is a mask worn by a person as a politician in order to show that he is a very well behaved, good natured human being. So similarly, we, when go to our workplaces, we behave in a very polite and humble manner so that we leave good impression upon others. So in our workplaces, we wear a mask, a social mask, that is a persona, that is our persona. In reality, we may be totally different. When we are at home, we weep, we cry, we shout, we are what we are in reality. Whereas in society, whereas at our workplaces, we pose to be totally different. We pretend to be totally different. We pretend to be very well behaved. That may not be the real truth. So that is what we should not forget, that persona is a sort of mask, or is a sort of pose adopted by people to behave in a particular situation or at a particular place, which is totally different from what that person or what people may be in reality. So when it comes to literature, or when it comes to novels or stories, persona is a role, or is a voice, or is a character used by the author to give expression to his ideas, thoughts, and feelings. Let me repeat. Persona in a piece of literary writing is either a voice to give expression to the ideas and feelings and thoughts of the author. We cannot equate the speaker with the author. If we take the example of Robert Browning's My Last Duchess, there we see the speaker talking about his last duchess, who died recently because of the cruelty of the Duke. The Duke keeps on stating that his last duchess was very sincere. If I am not wrong, I have forgotten a bit. But the speaker here is not the poet. The poet is totally different. We cannot equate the speaker with the poet. The speaker here is the persona. So that is what you must keep in mind. It is not the poet, though the poet or the writer may be using I in order to tell the story. But that I is not the writer. That I in a poem is not the poet. That I in a story may not is not the author. So that is what we must not forget. Or apart from the voice, if there is a first person narrator or a character telling the story, that character is a persona through which the story gets told. So persona is a literary device in order to carry the story forward. So that is what we must keep in mind. Persona, when it comes to in our lives, is a sort of social role that we adopt in order to pose how we behave and act in society when we find ourselves face to face with people in outer world, whereas in reality in our personal lives we may be totally different. So our persona is totally distinct or different in society. So I hope you've understood both these literary terms. You must go through these terms properly so that you understand them in a better way. So that is all for today. Thanks a lot. See you again either tomorrow or day after tomorrow when I will take up 2 or 3 more topics.